This time we'll call the meeting of the Madison County Fiscal Court to order. Kenny?
Master King.
Here.
Master Barger.
Here.
Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Combs.
Here.
Judge Clark.
Here. You all have had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting. If there are no changes or no discussion, a motion would be in order to approve those that submitted in your packets.
So moved.
Second.
Master King.
On the date, it was for the court meeting. We had the 9th, needs to be changed to the 12th on the minutes.
For the next court meeting.
No, for the past court meeting that was
That's all.
for
I've got
this.
the minutes here.
Okay,
so-
you got it, okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the correction.
Okay, make correction. Treasurer's report, that will be at our next meeting.
Still need to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Master
Yes.
King. Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
All right.
Treasurer report will be at our next meeting, and we're going into order of business. First off, we had Gear Off was scheduled to be here today, and they'd like to come at the next meeting. They weren't quite ready, so we'll just mark them off today. And first on the agenda, as always, it's very exciting to have a representative of the Battle of Richmond Association to give us a reenactment update, and Emily Burns is here today. Emily, thank you so much for coming.
It's very nice to be here this morning. We, as a matter of fact, we couldn't do anything out there without you here, so we're very much appreciative of the opportunity to plan this event every year and to see it through. It's right around the corner. I want to stress that while it is cannons and guns and horses, there is a lot more that goes on reenactment weekend. Public hours are from 10 to 4. We do have a living history area that is open all day. Entertainment, things to see, people to talk to. A little surprising. Everything is going along well. We're ready. We're excited to get there. And we're looking forward to seeing everyone come out on August 24th and 25th.
How about the number of reenactors this year? Do you know that, Emily?
Pre-registration has been a little slow. I look for there to be a lot of walk-ons. We won't really know a number until early Saturday morning to know exactly how many will be there.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Are there any other questions I can answer?
I guess people wait and see if it's gonna rain.
Well, the show goes on. We'll just get wet.
Okay, Emily, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the reenactment.
All right, we'll see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we've got personnel. Michelle has somebody that she'd like to introduce to the court and recommend to hire.
After the process of 72 applications being turned in, myself and Ms. Ginner went through the applications, pulled forward, did interviews. Upon our decision, we had decided to hire Kelly Taylor. She's a local resident from Berea, has went to Eastern Kentucky University, and for the past several months has volunteer services to district court. So she's familiar with our court system, and as of last Friday, started training with us, and I'll let her say a few more things about herself.
Okay, like Michelle said, my name's Kelly Taylor, and I was raised in Berea. I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice at Eastern, and I'm currently working on completing my master's in criminal justice as well. I've got my thesis left to complete. I did get some court experience working with district court with them and filing experience and all that stuff. So.
Okay, that's great. Any questions? None. I think she'll make an excellent candidate. No questions on Michelle's recommendation. Motion would be in order to
move.
Second.
Master King.
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Clark.
Welcome
Yes.
aboard.
Now, we will be making a little update to you all in a couple of weeks. We're trying to revamp the home incarceration program, a little more efficient, getting a little more manpower out at night. We're also looking, and we've had demonstrations from CoreSoft. Sheriff Cole sat in on that, and Michelle. Myself, County Attorney Robbins, and we think this might be a really good way to go. So we're trying to revamp this to make this the best working home incarceration program going, and also continuing to get people out of Doug and the county's overcrowded jail. So we'll keep you updated and try to put a program together for you. And 2 weeks might be a month, but it all looks positive. And I think with the addition of Kelly, everything will be good. So next on the agenda is personnel CSEP. Carl?
In your packet should be a sheet that kind of looks like this with the cover sheet of resumes or applications. We had right at a dozen applicants. We only had one person that actually had radio experience. This is for Assistant Communications Officer position to fill a vacant position that Jerry Felice left. We couldn't afford the one guy who had radio communications training, so we picked these four that were the best candidates out of the remaining ones. And we'd like to hire Cindy Madden. She has got about 15 years of IT experience over at what used to be Patty A. Clay, now Baptist Health. Worked a little bit with CSEP there through Baptist Health, and could start immediately. She'll be finishing her associate's degree. She's got one class left end of December. Brings a wealth of experience to the table, and we think she'd be a great fit for us. So we'd like permission to hire her. Autumn Stout is our current intern. She graded the highest, but she still has a full year of school left, all day type stuff. So she'll continue to be an intern, and then when we get positions available, which Judge and I negotiated with FEMA at our budget negotiations in July, we'll have a new position opening up, and then we'll give Autumn that position, but we'll bring that back to you as well. But she is definitely qualified and has been with us now for over 3 years. So any questions on Cindy, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you. Her resume's in the packet as well.
Any questions? If not, upon Carl and his staff's recommendation, motion be in order to hire Cindy Madden as the Assistant Communications Officer at CSEP.
So moved. Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Next is open bids on the CSEP calendars, if you want to just stay up, Carl.
Mark's got the two. We only received 2 bids this year. We've dealt with both companies, so either one of them will work for us depending on how their price turned out. So, Mark, you had a chance to open them, see that they were sealed, we got them on time and all that.
Both of them, they're both appropriately sealed, one from post printing and one from thoroughbred printing. They've indicated that they were both received on August the 8th before 4 o'clock. And as always, we'll give those to the clerk and then to you to review and report back.
Yeah, we're going to bring it back on the 27th to court for recommendation of who to award to. But like I said, both of them have done our calendar before, so we know them both very well.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks.
Personnel, Chief Cox, you want to come on up? As you all know, we've just had one firefighter retire, and we're really working just in order to keep full staffs. We're working as low as we can, so it's imperative that we hired one to replace Greg to keep that going. I know Chief would like to hire 2 or 3 more, but at this time, financially, we're unable to do that. But we did want to fill that one position, and Chief, I'll turn it over to you. I know you've interviewed several people and talked to them.
Yeah, after careful consideration, Herb Lovett here, I think he's the best one for the job at this time. He was with the Waco Volunteer Fire Department. He's already got his 150-hour volunteer status. Don't like a whole lot getting his 400 hours, which would be making him a full-time career firefighter. So I'd like to recommend Herb Lovett to be hired as your next firefighter.
That's a good thing about volunteers. You know what experience they got when they try.
We've already worked with them, and that's one of my bigger things I look at. When I can kind of take a look at you on the fire scene and know if you're going to do the job or not. And that really does help a bunch.
And he's CPAT certified, right, Jim?
Correct. Yeah, he just got it,
May 20th.
May 20th. That's not an easy process, I'm telling you.
Make a motion that we hire Herb Lovett on the chief's recommendation.
Second. Glad to have you aboard.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Herb, look forward to working with you. Judge's report, I just have one little thing, and I know our county attorney is kind of shy about things like this, but each year he tries to, with excess funds out of the cold check account, he tries to participate and give the county back some, and this year he was able to give us back $6,598, and Mark, we really appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's all I have in the judge's report. We would go to comments from department heads. Carl?
Different things. In exercise and practice world, September the 12th, we've got our next community tabletop exercise at the EOC at 11 o'clock. We did one a week and a half or so ago, and we had 41 there. The 17th of September is our field decon graded exercise with FEMA and the state and then the Army. That'll be at 1800 out at First Baptist. On September the 18th will be the full exercise during the day, start somewhere around 8:30 in the morning. Judge, you'll be there again with us, I'm sure, as well as the mayors will be there. So that's kind of the training world we got coming up. We've been working on the EOC expansion project, and we did get the approval to reduce the easement for all the utilities signed off last week. So that's went up to planning and zoning, so now we've got the full-blown planning and zoning meeting on the new EOC expansion, but we think we're over the biggest hurdles at this point. We'll find out when we go to that meeting in September for planning and zoning with the City of Richmond. But that's basically all I had. Anyone have any questions? Thanks.
Department heads, any other? Mayor Conley's in the audience today. We always like to see Steve here. Steve, anything new going on in Berea?
There's always something new in Berea, sometimes welcome, sometimes not, but actually I came today to offer a report from the airport board, if you all would let me, if I keep it short.
Yeah, excellent.
Mayor Barnes and I attended the last airport board last week, and I particularly was invited because the board wanted me to explain why Berea hadn't budgeted the the $15,000 that they had requested. And I tried to explain that our city council needs additional information, regular information on revenue and spending, and a role, at least a minor role, in participating in some of the planning before we would be regularly extending money. The airport is planning to attend our, a audit and finance committee meeting in the future to begin that process. And Mayor Barnes and I said that that flow of information needs to include all three governments, and so they indicated they understood that and they would try to do that. During this discussion, they stressed that they felt that there were a number of needs at the airport that were unable to be met by the grants that they had continued to seek. They have a long-range plan, and the FAA ranks what they request. This need, they felt, was particularly underscored by the fact that Richmond's aircraft major program is really booming. They, I think, have 140 students. They have the capability of going to 200 easily, except they don't have the space to park the aircraft, the hangars, the infrastructure needs that would allow our county to take full advantage of what Eastern is doing, as well as what our industries and other users of the airport might need. And so the airport has basically identified the two crucial infrastructure improvements as a tower and additional hangar space, both of which are ranked non-priority very low on the FFA inventory of their future plans. And so there was some discussion, and the real purpose of my appearing today was to bring to the court's attention that Mayor Barnes and I talked about the possibility of working with the airport, and maybe there would be a joint government ability to get the sufficient bonding, which the governments would see as part of their contribution as paying off those construction costs, geared toward things that would help the economic development viability of the airport, an investment that would help them be able to increase their revenue. And that's what they say hangar space and a better terminal would do. There's a lot, of course, to talk about if we decided that we'd want to approach that, but there is some interest. And so just by way of keeping you up to date, and perhaps that might be a topic for a future joint meeting, considering whether we would want to have a unified effort. And the number that I was left with would be somewhere between 1.2 and maybe $2 million, the infrastructure for the tower and the bonding. That always tends to be lowballed and goes up at the early stages. But just to introduce that to you, and if the county would want to factor that into some of the work that's going on with the Southern growth policies and other county-wide economic development thoughts, the airport board is ready to engage the governments and do that. Would you have any questions or comments about that? If not,
That's good information, I say that.
thank you for recognizing me, Judge.
Thank you, Mayor. And I got just a little wind from a little bird way off from here last night that some help might be coming to the airport. Thanks, Steve. Nobody else comments from magistrates? Greg?
Everything's running pretty smooth in the district. I know Leroy and them's probably out trying to keep all the water from washing all the streets away, especially with the gravel roads. And I was down in my district last night down in Poozy, and down there at the river in the parking lot, somebody's abandoned a car put up on 4 concrete blocks, and the wheels is off of it. Could we check into having it maybe removed or sitting in our parking lot there?
Mm-hmm. It's the first I heard of it.
Other than that, everything looks good.
Roger?
I'll be leaving here and going to the ferry to meet with Mr. Landis from Andy Barr's office. He's just wanting to put a name with a face with me and George. We've been emailing him, and George's been writing letters to him. He's the guy that's helped put the bill together that Andy has proposed to reduce the restrictions for the Coast Guard regulations, and he just wants to come down like Andy did and see the ferry and see what kind of operation it is and see if we're telling him like it is. So be glad to meet with him and see if he can help us a little more. I haven't heard anything on the bill. Last I heard is Andy was trying to get other people to pick up on it and help push it if he could. But, like Greg said, the water's our problem right now. We just got to wait and see if it'll go away. That's all I got, Judge.
Thank you, Roger. Bill Ray?
Yeah, I sat in on a ASAP board meeting the other day. That's the Agency for Substance Abuse Policy. It's a group of volunteers who's working to prevent substance abuse in Madison County. And you know, when you think about it, we have a jail that's overcrowded, and if you look at the national news, the prisons are overcrowded. Federal prisons, 40% overcrowded. That's about what we are. And Eric Holder, he's saying we want to readdress how we look at drug offenses, and you know, how big a problem is drug abuse in Madison County? Is it big?
Yes, you mean.
Well, it's huge, but you know, one of the things that, as I study this, and nothing is simple. I wished it was, but you know, I read that what can be done, and maybe we should consider, is do a community assessment, have some kind of study or evaluation done where we quantify substance abuse in Madison County, And, you know, it could be a project for a class at Eastern, or I'd hate to think that we'd have to spend a lot of money to do an assessment, but everybody I talk to, I think everyone, almost everyone, is affected by some kind of substance abuse. And, you know, and who's going to fix it? Whose job is it to fix it? We're filling up a jail. You know, you got to prevent problems, working in the schools, and then you got to treat. There's people that they want treatment, and there's no resources to help them. So it's a huge societal problem, and I think it starts right here at the local level. I don't know what to do about it, but I do know that there are things that can be done, and we just need to be thinking about them. I'm just offering the idea of getting some kind of assessment, a study done to quantify exactly how big the substance abuse is in Madison County as a kind of a starting point to make us aware and, you know, how big this problem is. Pretty big deal. I've learned more than I wanted to know about this problem, and there's still so much I don't know, but, you know, we're on this path and we can't ignore it.
You know, having some analysis might very well be a good idea. I still think that the best way to get a grasp of this problem is just come to court. Tomorrow will be a great example. We'll have pushing 50 preliminary hearings tomorrow, nearly all of which are based somehow or another on addiction problems. You don't always see the drugs on the charge. It could be a theft charge.
Right.
But they're stealing because they're trying to support a habit.
Right.
The forged instrument cases are rampant. People are stealing your checks, they're cashing them, and again, to support their habit. So there's all types of charges that you don't necessarily see the problem on the face of it, but if you look at the underlying cause, most of them are drug-related. I don't have any statistics, but I know what I see and I know what I feel, and the vast majority of those cases deal with addiction. And treatment, I think, has to be a primary goal, but the reality of it is right now there is no treatment. House Bill 463 that was passed a few years ago talked about treatment and envisioned some type of treatment, but those resources right now aren't here. The problem is a societal one, but it also becomes a safety issue too, because these addictions are so bad that you can often have very good, solid, decent people that are willing to do very, very bad things in order to feed their habit. And as a result of it, your homes are being broken into, your cars are being broken into and stolen, your checks are being passed all over the place. The pawn shops are full of things that have been stolen and pawned for nearly nothing just to get that next fix. And it's a huge problem. If you treat it, I think that'd go a long way in preventing the reoccurring thefts and other criminal matters that come as a result of it. But until you get that treatment, you know, our goal is to keep the community safe, and there's a whole lot of folks right now that are experiencing these problems that are willing to do anything, including harm somebody, break into your home, mistreat your children, do anything in order to get that next fix. It's a horrible problem. It's a very sad problem. It's a sad problem.
I was out too this weekend looking at some foreclosure homes, and about everyone you go to, if they had copper in them, they ain't got it in it no more, you know.
Yeah.
And some of it, you know, they probably wouldn't get $25, $30, and they destroy a home. It's, you know, it's just.
Yeah.
As bad as it is, it could get a lot worse and is likely to if we don't do something to stem the flood.
You know, I do think that early education, getting these children at a very early age would be a very positive step. A lot of people just don't understand just how serious this stuff is. There's so many of these substances that you can take one time and you're an addict.
It's over.
I mean, it's not like something that happens over years and years and years. This stuff is so powerful, especially if used, the prescription pills in particular, if they're used in the way that they weren't manufactured for, they can get you just like that. Nobody wants to become an addict. Nobody sets out this morning and says, I think I'm going to become a drug addict. You do it one time and then boom, you're stuck. Maybe getting children at a very early age is a good idea. This heroin stuff is a huge problem right now, and becoming more so each and every day. Our people are dying you know, otherwise good, hard, decent Christian people are dying because they get a hold of this stuff, and again, they can't help themselves. The heroin is so dangerous that it's, again, harming people in our community. And there's not a face for a drug addict anymore. I mean, you may have an idea as to what a drug addict would look like. And maybe a drug addict looked some way 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. Now this is just, it's the face of our community. It doesn't fit a particular societal, component or particular cultural background or economic. It runs the entire gambit of our community. And it may get worse. But until we get some treatment, the question is, what do you do with them? If you don't incarcerate folks that are breaking into your homes for getting the stuff, then you're letting your community become at risk.
So we're building a bigger warehouse then. That's what we're doing. We're going to warehouse them.
You just, what's your plan B?
We just had a task force alert on the overdose just off heroin, and we're not even entertaining the idea of the synthetic drugs that's hitting the streets. In the last 2 weeks, just air department alone, not counting the state police, but our air department alone, our detectives have busted up a large theft ring of trailers, the tag-along trailers that you well know that you're prosecuting now. They've just, in the last 2 days, we've taken down a theft ring that's been stealing cars, and he's pretty much labeled as a serial car thief here in Madison County, in the surrounding counties. Like you said, 85% of the crime that's committed right here in Madison County is filling up the detention centers. 85% of it's drug related. I mean, it is a significant problem that we have. Detroit going bankrupt. You're going to see a lot of that, which we are right now. The influx of heroin being distributed right here in Madison County and surrounding counties, that's going to pick up because of their economy. We're going to have to fight this problem head on. And, trying to get a task force and trying to get more grant money, with their budget, with lack of funding that we have to fight this drug problem in the state police, the city of Richmond, and the city of Brea, with their lack of people to fight this problem, we have a problem.
Okay. Good point, Bill Ray. Larry? Okay, thanks.
Doug, how many did you have in jail Saturday?
Saturday morning, went 306.
306 and probably 75 on home incarceration, somewhere in that area.
We had 38 on the jail docket yesterday.
Well, Mark, I've attended a lot of the court meetings, as you know, and you need to go by and look. You'll see. I mean, and it's just not a problem. It's a huge problem, like you say. And most people will not get involved in anything like that unless it affects them. And I think that's where we're losing touch. A lot of people won't come forward, won't do nothing until it affects them or some of their family, and then they get involved. And maybe that's the key. I don't know. I really don't. I don't have no idea. I see it every Friday in Brea, and it is a problem, but I wish I had an answer. I wish I had one of them pills like where they say you're addicted to that drug would make you lose weight. But I don't think they make it yet. I know I could sell that one. But the other thing is we've got school starting tomorrow, so anybody travels 25 going to Brea, I would find me another route, because I was backed up almost to Duncannon this morning at 15 after 8, and of course Mike said they had a wreck on the interstate, which I'm sure some of that traffic was on 25, but we're looking at another 6-7 months of work out there, so I'd ask you to be very careful, because Brea's been in 2 days as of today, and of course the county starts tomorrow, so let's think about that, especially our children. And other than that, Judge, I'm just glad to be here.
Glad you're here, Larry. Comments from the audience? Anybody like to approach the court? If not, I'll try this one more time. I don't know about the girls, but the next court date will be August 27th in Richmond. I think they do that to me on purpose.
Try to get your attention, Judge.
And motion to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yeah.